October 22. She's 40. Have you seen her? I've seen her. Have you seen the girl in your coordinator little pink pajamas? Have you seen her? Have you seen her? 13. She's been gone since. Let's please look at her eyes. Have you seen her? Her name is May. How about? Are you sure? You look at black girls every day. You tell me you don't know her? You've never seen her.
I've never seen her.
You don't know that. You don't know. She might have a mask. Look at her in her eyes. Look in her eyes. She might have been wearing a mask. It's a pandemic.
Years old, little pink pajamas.
I'm looking. She's 13.
Please.
I
need your help.
RGT Investigates presents Surviving Oakland.
Time, 2018. Place, here and there, Oakland, California. The players, Andrea Jackson, television reporter. Lacey, mid-20s. Randall, mid-50s, ex-offender, his daughter has been murdered. Sister Polk, late 40s, church-going woman. Keisha, early 50s, African-American, her daughter has been murdered. Tina, 19. Officer Michelle Gracie, mid-40s. Chrissy, early 30s. Hotel manager, late 60s, African immigrant. A young black woman. I should note that names have been changed to protect the autonomy of our participants.
No, you really wouldn't believe.
Good evening. I am Andrea Jackson, and this is Channel 6 Investigates. Over the next 5 weeks, we are going to take a deep dive into the dark side of Oakland, California, a city known across the globe as the birthplaces of the Black Panther Party, radical ideology, and countless social justice movements. It is also known for its dark side: gangs, drugs, homicides, and the prominent position on what is called the circuit. The circuit is a pathway between Canada and several U.S. cities, including Alaska, Hawaii, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Oakland, to name just a few, wherein young girls and women are forced to sell their bodies for profits that go directly to pimps and crime syndicates in the sex trade. In addition to the trafficking crisis, we will explore additional ways, very seldom talked about, that black women in Oakland go missing, become victims of homicide or kidnapping. Who are these women? How is this happening? Does anyone even care? Black, murdered, missing, and trafficked in the town. More at 8. Jack, back to you.
I grew up with him. Well, he watched me grow up. He knew my family and I knew his. I was always little L on the block, the little sis. It's funny, I don't know how, but they always do. Niggas, I mean. They always know when you're not a virgin no more. I just had sex for the first time last week, willingly. Just once. He was a nice guy, but it didn't go no further than that. So my mama sent me to the store that day for some juice, and I was walking in the corner, and him and 2 other brothers from the block were shooting dice. I remember I had $3. Shit, I wanted to play, so I told them, let me in the game. After talking mad shit, they did. So I'm out here rolling the dice, and I lost my $3 in 3 minutes. I remember going home and my mom asking me, where was my juice? And what did I get from the store? I laughed. I told her I lost it in a dice game. My mama ain't that type of woman. She ain't never play about no money. We ain't had enough as it was. nothing about her paper was a game. And she said, "What? Oh, hell no." She grabbed me by my arm, drug me back out the house, right to that corner, and she made them niggas give her $3 back. She was like, "That's my $3, and you niggas shouldn't have let her in the game in the first place." He was crouched down, getting ready to shoot the dice. He paused. He looked at my mama dead in her face. Almost in slow motion, he stood up from that crouch, counted out that $3. Hell was low. He goes, "Of course, Mother June. Here's your $3. I was just trying to see how grown she was really ready to be. How grown she was really ready to be." I should have paid more attention to that sentence. That sentence said so many things, but neither me or my mama paid no attention. She dragged my ass back home. That was that. Or so I thought. I play that moment over and over again in my head. Sometimes like a song that I can't get out of my head, no matter how hard I try. I was just trying to see how grown she really wanted to be. And the way he smiled, like he knew something that she didn't. Something even I didn't know. Turned out he did.
My favorite memory of her is her first or second Christmas. We lived in a nice house. I was doing my thing big. I had all my kids with me for the day. We had a white flock tree like Mama used to have. And there were so many toys and presents, you couldn't walk on one side of the room. Looked like a toy store. She was so happy, riding on her new Jeep. I loved having them together like that, all of them. When I dream about her, I dream the fights we had, the times that we didn't get along, the years I stopped talking to her. I'm glad I was talking to her again. She was so much like me. We liked the same music. She was stubborn and had my quick temper. They say things about karma, what goes around, comes around, and stuff like if you treat women badly, the females in your family will get the same thing 10 times over. I should have been there. I should have protected her. I failed her.
Today. I did today. A year ago, I put my first heartbeat I could hold, kiss, love forever in the ground. Marnay, Maxine, Karen, Kazi. She touched so many people. Her influence was to be who you are, and if you don't like it, oh well. One of the most memorable I have of my daughter is whenever I had to make a hard decision that would affect my family, she would always say, "Mom, do what makes you happy. If you're happy, I'm happy, and my brothers and sisters will be happy too." So, since she was murdered, it has been really hard to be happy. I do things to get my joy back, and so it's been going. I just flow. Today, I flowed. I love you, infinity, Benet. September 25th, 1992 to August 9th, 2016.
The day was like any other. The whole family went to Granny T's. Granny T did most of the cooking. I made the sweet potatoes, just like she taught me. Used to sit in her kitchen for hours watching her cook. She made barbecue sauce from scratch, seasoned the meat, grill it, and made all the sides. Everybody was there, the whole family. Aunties, uncles, cousins, laughing, everybody. We had such a good day. Throwing bones, talking smack, amazed at how fast the babies was growing. And the fireworks was amazing. Luna didn't like them. Granny's dog. One of them little mixes of a bunch of street mutts. But Granny used to swear before God. Luna was a purebred. Purebred blackie is what she would say. She hated fireworks. The dog. She'd run under my granny and shake till they stopped. Granny T. She would just hold her until they stopped and calm down. She sure did love that dog, and that dog loved her. Made her feel safe. Good evening. I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome back to Channel 6 Investigates. We spent the last few episodes looking at the lives of Black women and girls in the city of Oakland, California. A recent report from the PBS NewsHour just revealed that out of the 300,000 women reported missing in the United States, 30% of those women are Black women and girls. Black women and girls only make up 9.4% of the United States population. Locally, dozens of Black girls and women in Oakland go missing, fall prey to trafficking and/or homicide. Moreover, and clearly adding to the homicide numbers, 40% of all of America's trafficking happens in the Bay Area, and more specifically, Oakland. Famous for its pimp and hoe culture, life on the track, or the Blade as it's called sometimes, is often glamorized through music and homegrown artists like Too Short and Sugar Free. But as you can see in this video, there's nothing glamorous about it at all.
Video of the Blade on E14 in Oakland plays underscored by Sugar Free's Don't Fight the Pimpin'. As she speaks, a young Black woman flips through a fashion magazine.
That wasn't my story. I never worked the Blade. I tried later on in the game, but it wasn't for me. I went out there, I think I was like 19 at the time. B was in prison. I needed cash, so I went. And there was this girl, this little itty bitty girl, couldn't have been more than 13. Told her she should go home. She looked so cold. So I told her she should go home. She looked at me. Her eyes were brown and cold. She said, "Bitch, get the fuck out of here before he gets out the car and beats us both." I stood there stunned. Then she lunged at me and I ran. That was it for me. I was done. No more. She was just a fucking baby.
I was at work and the phone call interrupted a meeting. They said my oldest daughter had been shot. I called my boss and I told her I had to go now. When I got there, I called her and I told her they killed my baby. This life is crazy. Marnay not here. Cheesy incarcerated Deborah done locked me. Bones doing his own thing this Indigenous Peoples Day. But on a good note, the 3 young Kazis put in work tonight to help get dinner ready for tomorrow. And for some unknown reason, while Kamari Kazi was mixing my sweet potato pie batter, I thought of Marnay. and smiled, remembering how she loved my pies. And in 2015, her sneaky ass took a whole pie on top of the one I gave her. We love you, Benet. It's not the same on this here earth without you. Love your mama.
I surrounded myself with pictures of my children when I was in prison. I took most of those pictures. If I had one of them, then I had them all. I remember waking up with them, and one of the early risers would load up the super soaker and would spray the late sleepers. We had water everywhere. When they were all up, I fixed a big breakfast. I loved my children. I loved my daughter. And I miss her.
I was 16. It wasn't foreign to me. My family talked about it a lot because I had uncles who were pimps. But I didn't know that then. It wasn't even my own family who turned me out. It was my best friend's family. I damn near lived there. It started off like a casual conversation, you know? Her sister was in the life, and she was so beautiful. She was glamorous. I looked up to her. I wanted to look like her. She used to bring home so much money, more money than I'd ever seen. I mean, looking back, it wasn't that much money. It was more money than I had. I just had never seen that much. I was that poor. My family, my mom was a drunk. I knew she loved me, but I wasn't a priority. Because of that, her being an alcoholic and all, I moved around a lot. Family member to foster home back to family member. Eventually, she drank herself into the grave. Liver failure. I guess no one felt no obligation, so basically I was on my own at my best friend's house.
Not all women are in the sex trade against their will. As we continue to investigate, we found women who have willingly and confidently stepped into their lives as sex workers. Channel 6 Investigates continues.
Pimp. You think I'm gonna sell all of this good ass and give my money to some sorry ass nigga that's gonna stalk me and sit on the couch and then beat my ass? Shit. Nah, sweetheart. I'm my pimp. I make my quotas. I do this work because I want to. And I'm damn good at it. I enjoy it. Every black woman working ain't trafficked. And every white woman working ain't doing it willingly. Y'all missing the big piece of the puzzle, and that's why you can't make no headway. Tell me this. If some old man needs his dick sucked and can't get no one else to do it for free, why shouldn't he be able to pay a skilled, professional hoe like myself? My time and my talents are worth his tithes. The Church of Christy. I mean, really, why does the state feel the need to regulate sex?
More harm comes to women like me through the so-called regulation than from my clients. Like this foster sister bullshit. You know, where they shut down all the online platforms and then that we used to work. Those platforms were our lifelines. They actually kept us safe, y'all. We could screen the tricks, share information about the predators. Y'all didn't end prostitution, you just increased the risk. I get it. I get it. We need to protect the babies, period. But we ain't never gonna find no solution that works as long as y'all buried in this bullshit, pseudo-Christian, shame around sex. I mean, if we talking shame, you need to look at your president. Shit.
My sister told me that my daughter Shafi had been shot in the head. She said my baby was dead, but she was hooked up to machines that kept her blood flowing in a machine that pumped oxygen into her lungs. My sister very carefully explained there was no room for hope. I was in the day room. There were people there. I couldn't be in a room full of people talking about everyday nothing. The cells were locked. I went to the bathroom and I sat in the stall and I cried.
I still talk to her. She comes to me in my dreams. I think she still looks out for her family, me, and her brothers and sisters. If you knew her and them, then you know she rocked for her little bros. If she had to go the way she did for any of her brothers and sisters, she would go again. She would. She loved and helped raise them from their birth. Marnay Maxine Karen Kazi, September 25th, 1992 to August 9th, 2016.
I don't know when I actually believed it. I still can't sometimes. You see, I knew in my head that one day my father would die and I would have to bury him. I knew that one day my mother would die. I never thought about my children dying. You never think about burying your children. It's not a natural thought. I could not think about burying my daughter. Other people did it. I told my sister not to ask for bereavement leave from prison for me. I didn't think I could attend the funeral for the child that had smiled so bright. That child so happy to be with me, and her sisters and brothers on her first Christmases. That child should be alive.
I'm going to turn up for her birthday. So Marnay's 27th birthday is tomorrow, and this shit is settling in. That she really is never gonna ask me to make her a lemon cake for her birthday. I have this picture of her at the amusement park, and the sign says, "The amusement is closed." When I look at it now, I think, I am never gonna hug my first rider again. Yeah, I wear her bracelet with her name on it. This is the only physical part of my firstborn I have. I swear I can smell a hint of her sometimes, but only sometimes, and I'll take that. I go through this daily, I deal with it how I want to, and I so don't care about your judgment of me. It ain't stopping me from getting through each day, and I'm pushing through every second, every minute, every hour of every day, like the fuck she will want me to. Love Marnie, Maxine, Karen, Cassie's mom. September 25th, 1992 to August 9th, 2016.
First time I busted a Kate, it went so fast. I didn't even know what happened. He picked me up, and we went and got something to eat. He said we were going to his friend's house. It was a nice house, up in the hills. Hadn't been in the hills before. Took me up the driveway, didn't even knock, opened the door. Took me into this room. It was a nice room. But it was clear I wasn't supposed to go anywhere else. He said he'd be back. Can still remember the sound of that door closing. You know, the sounds that seem meaningless at the time, that later means so much more. He closed the door and I was in there. I don't know, maybe an hour. The door opened. I remember the sound of that too. There he was. And god damn, he was fine. I mean, make you choke on your own breath fine. Maybe it's because he was so fine that I didn't even realize what was happening. It happened so fast. Couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. 5 fucking minutes. Next thing I know, he's zipping up his pants, handing me a wad of money, telling me to give it to B. Which I did. Didn't even count it. And that, well, that was the beginning of the end.
Good evening. I'm Andrea Jackson, and this is Channel 6 Investigates. Tonight, we continue our series on the plight of Black women and girls in the city of Oakland. In this episode, we turn our attention to the other side of the law. We speak with a police officer that describes herself as an advocate for these women and a cop who cares, committed to curbing trafficking in the city, as well as the astronomical numbers of Black women and girls that go missing in Oakland.
My name is Lieutenant Michelle Gracie, Vice, Oakland Police Department. Well, first I'll say it's important to distinguish between sex work and trafficking. It's all illegal, but nowhere near the same level of criminality. Sex workers are consenting adults making their living inside the sex industry. Trafficked girls and women are locked inside a modern-day slave trade. They are abused, raped, sold, and martyred. It crosses all races, classes, and creeds. But by far, especially here in Oakland, Black girls between the ages of 13 to 24 make up the majority of the girls of what people call the track of the blade. The primary but not only place where this activity is on International Boulevard in East Oakland, otherwise known as E14. There is this whole world of child slavery that OPD discovered in 1999. We couldn't believe it. These predators lure them in with a few nice words, some flashy gifts and promises of a better life than what they had. You know, once sucked in, they beat them, take their IDs, bones, anything they could use to escape. They are raped and sodomized by their abusers and the clients. Chains to doors and heaters. Their clothes are taken from them at the end of the night so they can't escape. These babies are being raped up to 20 men a night. So when you strip off the makeup and the nails, they're just kids. A lot of them. Kids with pasts we couldn't even imagine in our worst nightmares. When you have already been subjected to sexual abuse, sometimes torture, by your closest family members, your father, your uncle, their friends, it's easy for a 30-year-old man to tell you they love you, give you nice things, promise to protect you, and manipulate you into the slave trade of underage trafficking. Sadly, so many people blame the girls. She must like it. She's a hoe. She's whatever. But she does not understand her victimization. The only thing I've been able to compare it to is Stockholm Syndrome or battered woman syndrome. I mean, she stands there every day and takes all the risk. Risk of getting killed, risk of getting AIDS, risk of going to jail. She takes all the risk and has no decision-making power. No power over whether she is going to live or die.
I've learned a lot of survival skills, being out on the street. Life skills, things that help me survive. A lot of it is a blur. I was drunk or high most of the time. I just didn't want to think about it. It was better to not think about it. Because if I had thought about it, anyway, eventually, I got popped. Fucking pigs finally caught up with my fast ass. I picked up a trick who ended up being a motherfucking pig. Hella mad. And that motherfucker sent me straight to Santa Rita. I kept trying to tell him I wasn't out there because I wanted to be. He's gonna kill me for getting arrested. He was signing my death papers. He didn't give a shit. Threw me in the back of that pig mobile and drove me straight to that fucking hellhole. Listen, when I tell you there is as much pimping going on in there as it is in the streets, it don't get me started on CHP and they nasty asses. But goddamn worse. But in Santa Rita, man, there ain't nowhere to run. And in there, the cops are the pimps and the Johns. And it ain't no money involved. I thought I was gonna die in there. I mean, like, really die. You feel me? Nah. Of course you don't.
A few days after the barbecue, I called Granny T to see how she was doing. I did that every couple of days. I would have called every day, but that just made her fuss at me, talking about how she's a grown black woman and ain't need no babysitter. She refused to get a cell phone. She ain't had no answering machine, so you could let it ring till the sound of the ring got on your last nerves. I was getting the kids ready for school, so after like 20 or so rings, I let it go. But my spirit was unsettled. I kept meaning to call back, but the day got away from me. The next day, I was picking up my boys from school. It hit me. She ain't called me back. That was Jesus talking, I suppose. I figured I would stop by her spot to see about her, so I dropped off the boys and headed across town. Her Cadillac was in the driveway. Pristine, clean as always. And she loved that car. Olive green with red. What she wanted to believe were leather seats. I knocked on her door so many times. I knocked until my skin tore. I knew something wasn't right. Something was very, very wrong.
Also complicit in the abuse of young girls on the track are motels that refuse to screen their customers and allow pimps to use their cheap rooms as sex sites for trafficked girls and women. The city claims to have tried to hold them accountable, but as our sister affiliate station shows, it's an uphill battle.
Voice over of newscaster. This is Jack Bozeman reporting for KRON 4 in Oakland. Tonight's city council meeting got heated when city attorney John Russo announced a lawsuit against several hotels on what some folks call the track or the blade that the city says is complicit in facilitating sex trafficking in Oakland. Bloom stated, certain hotels in this city have allowed and profited from this criminal industry, an industry in which horrific crimes against women and girls are routine. We spoke with a hotel manager whose establishment is located in the heart of the track for his thoughts. Here's what he had to say.
They say we don't screen people. We're supposed to ask every customer what they're going to do in our rooms. We are business, not a police station. They pay money. They get a room. I don't see where this is our fault. The girls in my country don't act like this. I'm trying to support my family. This Oakland. We start asking every black person who comes in here what they're going to do in our rooms. Next thing you know, we uppity Africans. That's not safe for my family. American blacks don't like us as it is. What about my family? These girls, they're doing what they want to do. Where are their parents? Why is this my fault? My daughters are home, like good girls, doing homework, helping their mother with dinner. Why are these girls home? It's not my fault. They shut us down while they investigate. I'm losing money. If we don't open up soon, I don't know what my family will do. We have to eat too. Yes. Why should we not eat because those girls made bad choices? It's not my fault. I'm just trying to run a business and support my family. That's the American dream, right?
This is the first time I've told my story. Don't know why. Don't know why you. It's time, I guess. I want you, them, to know I came from a good home. A two-person home. Both parents in the house. I wasn't your expected statistic, but they never saw me. Know what I mean? I was told to go to school and cussed out when I didn't handle my business, but I didn't really have parents. My dad and I weren't close, and my mom had her head so far up his ass, she couldn't see straight. I'm not mad about it anymore. I love my mama. As a grown woman wanting a love of my own, I get it. I love my mama. Just sad, I guess. And confused. Confused on how she couldn't see it. One time, he came and got me, like usual. We went to the hotel, but this time, he left me and didn't come back. 8 days. 8 days in that room with corner store snacks and no phone. The phone in my room wasn't working, and he had my cell. I went to the front desk and I asked to use their phone. They said no. I was like, but my phone in the room, it ain't working. They still said no. What the fuck? Did he cut the cord? I just wanted to call someone. Anyone. Him. It was him I really wanted to call. Where was he? I got so desperate, I banged on every door in the hotel. They didn't answer, but I heard them in there. I begged and begged. I just wanted to use the phone, but no one would answer the door. And guess what? I don't blame them. It is Oakland. 8 days he left me in that room. I don't know if he was with another bitch or what. He didn't say, and I knew better than to ask. When he took me home, my mom didn't even ask where I'd been. Hey baby, good to see ya. Got homework? I hadn't been to school all week. Didn't the school call my house? How could she not see? To this day, my mom don't know none about what happened to me. And I don't want to break her heart. Eventually, I called the cops. They said they could come do a welfare check. And they did. Eventually. Anyway, given her age, they should have been more concerned and got there faster. And I guess it wouldn't have made no difference no way. Everything in Granny T's house was always immaculate. Cleanliness is next to godliness, she would say while making us dust her tiny little place for hours. Everything in its place. Even her wigs all on the right mannequin heads, not a dust mite. But no her either. Where was my granny?
I'm Andrea Jackson, and this is Channel 6 Investigates. An unexpected tragedy as we continue our coverage of missing Black women and girls in Oakland, California. The Oakland Police Department say that what they thought was a missing persons case is now a homicide. 71-year-old Fiola Polk had been missing since the family's 4th of July celebration. Family members were hopeful that she would be found alive, but authorities believe her 22-year-old grandson killed her. While the body hasn't been located, bloody items were found in the apartment of Michael Polk, her oldest son's sons. Police suspects the motive was money, but aren't releasing many more details. Fiola was one of almost too many to count Black women to go missing in Oakland this year. Her story is not an uncommon one. What is uncommon is that you're hearing about it. Most of these Black women and girls don't get any coverage at all.
When I got out, things changed. I don't know how they found But people who wanted to help me, they came and found me. And they actually helped, which at first I didn't think they was gonna. No one had before. Most people was full of shit. When I first came home, the police had me on one of those ankle monitors. Nerve calling me free when I can't get up to take a shit without they knowing. The monitors ain't nothing but a house prison. When I got off those dumbass ankle monitor tracker thing, I could go to these classes and workshops with girls who are like me. And the teachers, they have been like me before. They helped. They ain't looked down on me at all. They knew I shouldn't have ever been put in that situation to begin with. Took a minute, but now I know that too. It's funny. Not funny, haha, you know, but funny the things adults do to kids. And then a lot of the time, the adults that's supposed to help, they blame us for what the adults did. I don't know. Don't make no sense to me. I can say that things are better now. Not perfect, but better. A day at a time, right?
If I could go back in time and prevent this, I would have told her to come and live with me. That's what I would have done in a world where I was being a grown-up that could help a child find their way. I hadn't found my own way. And being lost for so long is a part of my guilt over her being gone. She won't see the father she deserved.
It's not your fault if your child or someone you love gets killed. It's your responsibility, though, to take a hold of the pain and somehow turn it into strength, faith, and stronger love for the ones still here that you hold dear to you. I have never been so heartbroken and strong at the same time.
I feel close to her when I'm with my grandkids. They look like her. Being here for them is what I can do for her. I owe her all the things I didn't give her and more. She saved my life. It's crazy, but it's true. I had health problems, and if I hadn't come home on bereavement leave to bury my daughter, I probably would have died. I walked into an emergency room a week after we buried her and had 3 emergency surgeries that day. I should have given her a new life. Her death saved my life, gave me purpose. I went back to prison full of grief, guilt, and regret. Losing her changed me. I should have showed her something different.
Now I know what it means when people say, it is in your weakest moments that determine how strong you are. I will continue to be courageous and supportive to those that are missing Marnay Maxine Karankazi as much as me. Love, Marnay Maxine Karankazi's mama, September 25th, 1992 to August 9th, 2016.
I'm Andrea Jackson. And this concludes the Channel 6 investigative series of Black girls who are missing, murdered, or trafficked in the city of Oakland. If you have any information about any of the cases we have covered, please reach out to the Oakland Police Department's Crime Stoppers hotline at 510-777-3211. If you or anyone you know is a victim of trafficking, here are some resources you can reach out to for help.
On the screen and in your digital programs are resources like Missy, Shade, and Heat Watch.
Have you seen Naisha? You seen her? She's 13.
She's about 20 now.
She went
Had a
missing.
son.
Have you
Been
seen
missing since
Janela
22nd.
Harper?
2022.
She's been missing for 3
I
days.
missed her.
This taller than me.
She's 14.
13.
End of play.